Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyumbok. Today we have Loreto Convent Valley Road versus Ofafa Jericho. The motion is neocolonization is slowing down development in Africa. Who will be the victor?
Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
Salutations to you all, my fellow Africans. I am Troy Gilbert from Ofafa Jericho High School, here to praise the motion neocolonization is slowing down development in Africa. What is neocolonization? Neocolonization is the practice by which a powerful country uses its power to control a less developed country politically, economically, and socially. That is the definition of a dictionary. Historically, neocolonization is the survival of a colonial system in spite of formal recognition of political independence. Africa, in August 5th, 2015, Africa will mark 58 years since the first African country, Ghana, then known as Gold Coast, gained its independence, whose benefits do not trickle down to any African man, woman, or even child. Take the case of Lagos, which is a stone throw away from the largest oil refineries in the world. In Africa, I mean. Yet, blackouts are the order of the day. Kenya is an agroeconomist country. Yet, year in, year out, it's on the headlines launching food appeals for its starving nation. What is the answer to all this? The answer to all this is neocolonization. Why? Because it involves the political intervention, intimidation, and blackmail in order to prevent African states from shifting their economical, political, and social programs towards the exploitation of its natural wealth. Neocolonialists apply the principle of Hegelian dialectic, whereby they create conflicts in areas of interest in order to access its interest. This is accomplished by funding the government, and behind the scenes, they fund the rebels. In Libya, whereby we have the northern tribes, were funded by the French, and moreover, the Libyan government, which was one of the richest countries in Africa. This created a conflict between the northern tribes who are against the brutal regime, which the forces of Muammar Gaddafi was committing, such as tortures and sexual violence against them. A week later, it came to no surprise when the Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization invaded Libya, claiming to protect civilian casualties. This was such a flimsy excuse to claim that they wanted to protect civilian casualties, while the essence for their innovation was the oil, which is the greatest in the world. Initially, Libya was one of the richest countries in the world, but months later, Libya had a starving economy. Moreover, the ICC under Chief Luis Moreno Ocampo indicted Muammar Gaddafi on war against charges. As Africans, we should not face east, north, or west, but rather we should face forward and make Africa a free neo-colonial country. Julius Nyerere once said, Africa should move forward and stop neo-colonization. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your opening remarks.
Representing Loreto Convent Valley Road, my name is Zoe Tsika Butama, here to oppose the motion that neocolonialism is slowing down development in Africa. You say, yes, neocolonialism is colonialists still taking over a country's political and social and economical whatever. I say it's a term used by Africans as an excuse. The world today is full of allies, and by allies, I mean friendship. It's a give and take world. Just because other countries are strong enough to ask for what they want and we give them, but we don't ask for what we want to blame it on someone. What's the recent excuse? Neocolonialism. Did you know, by comparison with other developing regions, Africa's post-independence development has been one of failure? I'll give you 2 examples. Korea has transformed itself from a stagnant nation into one of the most industrial economies of the world within 14 years. 40 years, I mean. Who helped them? They didn't help themselves. These people that you're blaming for lack of development in Africa are the ones that took Korea from a third world country to a first world country, and all you can do is be ungrateful. You ask me, what is hindering development in Africa? I'll give you one very good reason: our leaders. They fail to realize that our world is essentially driven by energy, technology, agriculture, energy, and much more. Well, all are based in science and technology, sectors which our leaders have repeatedly refused to dive into. You want development in Africa? Change your leadership. Thank you.
We'll hear rebuttals now. Proposers, you have 3 minutes.
Praise Jesus. My name is Peter Mtisia from Ofafa Jericho High School, proposing the motion, neocolonization is slowing down development in Africa. Zoe, you've said favors in the name of allies. For how long shall we keep on asking for favors? For how long? Thomas Sankara once said, whoever feeds you owns you. Thomas Sankara was president of Burkina Faso, and he never accepted aid, he never accepted money, not from IMF, not from the World Bank, but his country developed. But the French used Blaise Compaoré, his best friend, to stage a coup d'etat that led to his death and removed all the reforms in the name that it is destroying relationship with France. But look at Burkina Faso now. Where is it? It's at its knees. The moment they allowed French to enter their country is the moment it started going down. Patrice Lumumba. Oh, Patrice Lumumba. He wanted a unitary government for DRC Congo. He wanted to unite DRC Congo. But the Belgians didn't want. The French didn't want. They wanted, let us just do this and this, because if Patrice is there, we'll not be able to exploit the resources. So they used Mobutu Sese Seko and Moise Tshombe to assassinate Patrice Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba was dead. Crisis rose in DRC Congo. When crisis rose, it led to political and development. Political and development, economical and development. Economical and development, social and development. That leads to underdevelopment in Africa. Minor, you come to me. Tell me, Peter, I want a loan from you. I'll tell you, okay, take, but pay with interest in a specific time frame. You come again and again and again and again. I will not refuse. That's the same thing that is happening. We go to China, World Bank, IMF. Of late, we've asked for money to build our standard gauge railway. We'll return later. But look at what is happening. We keep on asking for money, and they keep on giving it to us, but they require interest. That interest can be used to develop our Africa. That small interest that we are giving them is what can be used to develop our education sector. That interest that they are asking from us is what can be used to develop our schools, our health sector, our technology. Our technology is just, you be the judge. Neocolonization is slowing down development in Africa. These beautiful ladies have come to tell us that it is not. Looks can be deceiving. Listen. Looks can be deceiving, but don't let them be blinding. Hate is a strong word, but I hate neocolonization. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your cross-examination.
Wahenga walisema, kikulacho, kingoni mwako. I'm Olivia Kerry. Africans haven't proved that they do not need the West's help, and that is the reason why the West keeps on giving us the help. Now, the main reason why we are constantly feeling that we're underdeveloped because of because of the aid that they're giving us is because of corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, of the top 10 countries in the world with the highest corruption rate, well, 9 are African. Now, I'll give an example of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe loses $5 million in a day, in 24 hours. Now, Zimbabwe's national budget is $4.1 million in a year. So how is development going to take place, yet we are losing more than we can make? Then we're losing more than our country can earn in a year. Imagine how much money, how much investment Zimbabwe would have made with this amount of money that they're losing. They have a pathetic healthcare system. They have a pathetic education system. That is enough proof that the aid that they're giving us is helping us. But if we use this aid, if we utilize this aid in the best way possible, our countries, African countries, will develop. Political instability. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll take you back to this year. In mid-May, what happened in Burundi? Pierre Nkurunziza, the president of Burundi, decided because he wants to run for a third unconstitutional term, well, he'll run for it. Now, all the infrastructure that Burundi had put in 21 years since the genocide, all that infrastructure has gone down the drain. Do you know why? It isn't because the West influenced that. The West didn't ask Pierre Nkurunziza to run for a third term. Pierre Nkurunziza decided to do it on his own, and all the infrastructure that Burundi has put has gone down the drain. That is enough proof to show us that Pierre Nkurunziza is the reason, the African leaders are the reason why development is being hindered in Africa. On to my third point, poor policy making. Africans are just pathetic at making policies. Let's take an example of Kenya. Kenya has a laptop project. How much is it worth? Approximately 1 billion. I have a question. We're using 1.2 billion Kenya shillings to fund a laptop project. How many people in Turkana County are starving to death? How many? Yet we have the guts to give 1.2 billion for laptops. How many students in Garissa are learning under trees? How many students in Kwale are learning under trees? How many students in Wajir can't even go to school because of insecurity? We're allocating money, outrageous sums of money, for useless things. Yet we have the guts to say that the West, neocolonialism, is the cause of better development in Africa, in Kenya, in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that is outright. Thank you very much.
Safaricom and M-Pesa.
Yep.
I text my friends.
Yep.
I call all night.
Yep.
Unlimited Instagram.
Yep.
Hold up. You know what?
Relax. Yep. Got it.
And M-Pesa.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap, or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
The proposers have been asked if they think Africa is capable of developing without foreign aid, and the opposition have been asked to give proof that Africa cannot develop without loans that it gets from maybe its former colonial masters. Proposal number 3, you have 3 minutes.
Well, I believe my brother from Olympic had his facts wrong. My colleague said Sankara developed Burkina Faso without aid. But when the French were allowed to come in by Blaise Compaoré is when Burkina Faso deteriorated. And that is why it's on its knees up to now. Do you understand? My name is Steve Gerald from Ofafa Jericho High School, here to propose the motion, neocolonization is slowing down development in Africa. Well, ladies and gentlemen, take this example. My father is not able to pay my fees. My mother is not able to clothe me. Why? Because my family is not stable financially. My uncle came in, oh, dear Uncle Major. He helped us so much. He came in, clothed my family, paid my fees, fed us, ensured that we had a roof over our heads. And in return, my father has to subject his life to him. I literally have to work for him every waking day of my life. My mother bows down and worships the ground he walks on. This is neocolonialism, and that is what is happening in Africa. We have to bow down. Now, Kenya is busy putting up CCTV cameras along Mombasa Road. Why? Barack Obama is coming. Neocolonization. Many Western governments have denied allegations of neocolonialism. In fact, China were very quick to do so. In May 2014, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang visited four African nations and remarked, quote, "I wish to assure all our African friends, in all seriousness, that China will never take a colonist path like some countries did, or allow colonialism, which belonged to the past, to reappear in Africa." The truth, ladies and gentlemen, is that China's approach in Africa is a new form of colonialism, neocolonization to be precise. The trade between Africa and China has improved to 700%. 700% in the last year, between 2014 and 2015. And yet, Africans are busy begging for more money from them, and we are not developing. That is why Olivia was busy saying that Africans, we are taking loans. We are friends. We are busy taking loans. Until when these loans comes with strings attached. They keep on blaming Africans, but I can't hear them saying how neocolonization, that money is helping Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, these ladies are very beautiful. They almost convinced me, but I love Africa better. Neocolonization is slowing down development in Africa.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Ladies and gentlemen, aren't we all just excited? I mean, the opposition has come on strong. Great words. I mean, you just want to listen to them. But at the points there, the question, proof. Ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabwe, a country that decided that it wanted to be an island away from the West. When we came for the workshop, the judges said something that touched me, that we are the leaders of tomorrow. So I'm taking it that we are the leaders, but these leaders are deciding they want to cut themselves off from the rest of the world. What happened to our dreams of being a village? Ladies and gentlemen, when a cook is making a meal and it's not up to par, do they tell you, it wasn't nice because I gave my neighbor some salt. It wasn't nice because Saida told me not to put in some flour. Please. The first speaker and the second were very much passionate in bringing out political intervention. As a history student, I feel it is my obligation to remind the second speaker that Patrice Lumumba was given support by Russia. May I remind you that Russia is also one of the countries that is accused of neocolonization. So when you make a point, please stop the double standards. Other than that, relations between countries, between these countries that we are blaming and Africa, are grounded on reciprocal benefits. Meaning, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a world of give and take. It is your choice. It is Africa's choice what they want to take. Do you blame USA when they say we want this and Africa doesn't say we want this back? Ladies and gentlemen, it is not them with the problem. The first thing you have to think of is yourself when you're solving a problem. If development is slow, you don't go to your neighbor and say it is them. You look at yourself and decide, what have I done? What am I doing? Because according to what I've heard from the opposition, Africa is going to remain exactly where they are, because every day we're just going to say, it's them, it's them, it's them. We're never going to say, it's me. The problem starts with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we are held together. I believe neo-colonization has become an excuse, a term that Africa has now decided to brand on everything. You decide that you're not happy with what you're getting. Ladies and gentlemen, change. Africa, change. Thank you.
We'll hear closing statements now. Proposition, you have a minute.
Saida, for your information, we are the proposition, you are opposition. Africa is a continent languishing in poverty, and you're busy talking of food. Cooks, seriously. Cooks and food. You're joking. Neocolonization is a dictatorial regime that denies people right of self-determination. The notion that neocolonization is a civilizing mission is a myth. I have heard you talk of how Africans are branding neocolonization, but I cannot hear you saying how neocolonization is helping Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, this system, neocolonization, is propelled by Europe's economic and political self-interest. African countries have to rise up. Kenya has to rise up and take a stand and say today, we are going to develop ourselves. We don't need so-called allies and so-called favors that comes with strings attached. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute for your final submission.
I called you the opposition because you are opposing what we're saying. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I could give you facts. I could bombard you with words, sweetness that the other team seems to be so good at. But the fact remains, every day we strive to be far more than what we are. Why must we go to blame someone else? Every day I'm a Form 4 student. At the moment, every day I am told, choose your friends wisely. Ladies and gentlemen, every day do we not strive to create allies? So why do we blame ourselves? Why are we acting like we are still in shackles? Once I was asked by a student among you, what tribe are you? What race are you? And most times I say I'm African, and people look at me weird. I might not be from my roots, but the reason I say I'm African is because I'm proud of what these people have done. I'm proud of the fact that they broke those shangles. I'm proud of the fact that when you're given a contract and you're told to sign and they say, I will give you this and you will take that, we have the choice to say, no, we want this. Thank you.
Gilbert, very good debater. I think calm, collected. I love the smile that you have whenever you're debating. I think it's awesome, a well-read gentleman. The same applies to Peter. The examples you give, and you know the power of examples to validate a concept. And I think that is a plus for you, and very good speaking skills. Now, Gilbert, you are I think you're just, Steve, sorry, you're just awesome. I love the moves on stage, you know, and you have an overtone of sarcasm in the course of your presentation. The three gentlemen, well-read, very good style of delivery, and very good, you know, informed gentlemen. I think I'm seeing leaders in the making, future leaders, possibly of this particular country. I called you Pan-Africanists. That was great work.
I think to LCVR, Olivier, again, a very good debater, and I love the fact that you're able to engage your audience. And Sayed is very cool, calm, but makes us think, even in your submissions. And I just love, you know, your style as well. I think for me, what was missing was, what is it then that you recommend to get Africa out of this mess? You know, and that was something that your team then should have focused on.
Loreto Convent Valley Road, the judges awarded you 73%. Please give them a round of applause. Ofafa Jericho, the judges awarded you 80%. You are our winners for the debate.
Bravo to Ofafa Jericho, and of course Loreto Convent Valley Road also put up a spirited fight. Today the stage was full of Pan-Africanists. We'd like to thank all of you for watching and ask that you follow us on Twitter @GreatDebatersEA and on all our other social media platforms. Safaricom M-Pesa, we'd also like to thank you, and KBC Channel 1 as well for carrying our content. Thank you for watching the show. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. Catch you next time.
The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.